name is not David Attenborough, and I am not 143 years old. I have seen the most amazing animals, yet what fascinates me is the stories behind the artifacts of nature we encounter every day. In this series, I will explore the secrets contained not behind museum doors, but in my own humble collections. We will discover the hidden wonders of Earth's softly spoken species and find out precisely what makes them so unique. This is the Cabinet of Curiosities. In this episode, I look at a most peculiar shell and a creature that inhabits one of the most challenging environments on Earth. The cat's eye snail. This beautiful spiral I have here in my hand seems more the product of human artistry than any natural process. Indeed, they are often used to create jewellery, but the master creator behind is far from human. When the first settlers arrived in Australia, some 200 years ago, they found local indigenous peoples searching the rock pools and collecting shells that looked rather like this one. It is, of course, a snail shell, belonging to an animal that thrives off the replenishing food sources of the intertidal zone. The shells were fashioned into fishing hooks, and the natural shiny luster attracted fish without any need for bait on the line. Yet there was also a secondary purpose to the activity, because in fact, peculiar wools such as this and the aforementioned shell are one and the same. These spiral discs formed a kind of currency prized for their natural beauty. Meanwhile, the shell itself was crafted into practical tools. Both of them belonged to the cat's eye snail. If you've ever wondered what a snail looks like from below, then this is it. These strange-looking objects are the dried-up remains of an organ called the operculum. It is found on almost all sea snails and sits at the entrance of their shell like a foot, helping them to move to protect themselves and retain precious moisture. When the animal is alive, the appendage is softer, more flexible, and the plug it forms at the entrance of the shell is almost perfect. The life of these sea snails is challenging in the extreme. Every day, twice a day, the water recedes until only small pools of it remain. Every day, twice a day, it floods back in over the rock shells with brutal force. Some snails choose to live at greater depths, many meters down, to avoid this constant wash. Not so for the cat's eye snail. When the water disappears, it plugs its shell with the operculum and waits until the next high tide. If a foraging bird attempts to get at it, it shuts itself in just the same. Without it, the species would never survive. From fossil evidence, we know that ammonites gave rise to structures similar to the operculum. Evolution selected for snails with the best defences, and so has passed down this strategy through the course of millennia. Land snails that lack it will only emerge after heavy rainfall, which makes them especially vulnerable to changing conditions. Since ancient times, civilizations have collected the operculum from dead snails and burnt it as a kind of natural incense. To walk along the beach today and come across such a wonderful oddity, it is truly extraordinary to think it has been around so long, used by humans for all of recorded history. The cat's eye snail possesses a unique strategy to survive in a habitat unlike any other. It more than deserves its place in my cabinet of curiosities. Next time we will venture once more onto dry land to discover how the tiniest of creatures constructs monoliths more complex than skyscrapers.